नमस्कार डिफेंस एस्पिरेंट्स, स्वागत है त्रिशूल डिफेंस एकेडमी के यूट्यूब चैनल पे। और सबसे बड़ी बात, स्वागत है ब्रिगेडियर सर की दूसरी वीडियो के साथ। जी हाँ,
थैंक यू।
अभी तक आपने सुना था पिछली वीडियो में मैंने बताया था ब्रिगेडियर अमर नारायण सर का एक छोटा सा ब्रीफ इंट्रोडक्शन। एस्पिरेंट्स, अगर आपने वो वीडियो नहीं देखी है तो प्लीज उसका लिंक डिस्क्रिप्शन में दिया हुआ है, उस वीडियो को जरूर जाके देखिएगा। आपको पता चलेगा कि सर वाज अ प्रेसिडेंट विद सर्विसेज सिलेक्शन बोर्ड इलाहाबाद। जी हाँ, 19 SSB इलाहाबाद बोर्ड के प्रेसिडेंट मेरे बगल में बैठे हैं। इन इटसेल्फ ये मेरे बड़े गर्व की बात है पूरी त्रिशूल फैमिली के लिए। सर, सेकेंड सेशन में फिर से स्वागत है।
थैंक यू वेरी मच।
आई नो ब्रिगेडियर रैंक ऑफिसर, और उनको गुजारिश करना स्टूडियो में आके कि भाई वीडियो बना लो, अपने आप में बड़ी चीज है।
Very frankly, I must say, I am enjoying this, connecting with the candidates, because I feel I can contribute, tell them what is required in SSB, and I hope it will help them.
सर, इसी पे गुजारिश रहेगी कि जो बच्चों के सवाल होंगे प्लीज उसके आंसर्स आप ही दीजिएगा, ताकि
100%
ऑथेंटिक आंसर्स मिले। तो भाई वीडियो को देखिएगा और कमेंट जरूर करिएगा। चलिए सर, सर्विसेज सिलेक्शन बोर्ड में इंटरव्यूइंग ऑफिसर का बहुत बड़ा रोल रहता है। एक 225 मार्क्स दिए हुए हैं इंटरव्यूइंग ऑफिसर को, तो दिस इन इटसेल्फ सेज कि भाई इंटरव्यूइंग ऑफिसर बहुत जरूरी रैंक का अधिकारी है। आप लोग जो भी इंटरव्यूज कंडक्ट कराते हैं वो एक PIQ फॉर्म के बेस पे कराते हैं। इस PIQ फॉर्म को कैसे भरना चाहिए, इसमें क्या भरना चाहिए, क्या नहीं भरना चाहिए? अब जैसे मैं एज अ एस्पिरेंट मैं अपने आप को, अपने जर्नी को रिमाइंड करूं, तो मैंने एक्स्ट्रा करिकुलर में ज्यादा कुछ नहीं किया। कहीं ऐसा तो नहीं कि अगर मैं एक्स्ट्रा करिकुलर वाले डब्बे खाली छोड़ दूं तो आपकी छवि मेरे लिए गंदी बन जाए। इन सारे मिथ्स को प्लीज क्लियर करिए कि आखिर व्हाट इज दिस PIQ फॉर्म ऑल अबाउट।
Okay, now I think this is a very important issue that you have raised.
Sir,
PIQ form, my friends, stands for Personal Information Questionnaire, which is something akin to a CV, as you said, which we normally fill before we go for any other interview. So there is a set pattern which is available on the net and all, and basically what we require the candidates to fill various details.
Achha.
So I can talk about that in brief. Firstly, they'll ask you to fill your name, your place of residence. Then about your caste and all, and then they'll ask you to fill details about your family. So in family, your father, mother, brother, sister, what is their job profile, how much income they are earning, so that these things you'll have to fill. Then they will ask you to fill about your educational qualification, starting from +2. So from +2 onwards, overall marks that you got, what board did you appear, any special achievements, and after that they'll require you to fill your individual statistics like your height, weight, other things. Now comes the most important issue. The next columns which are there, in which firstly they'll ask you to fill your achievements in sports or your interest in sports, if I may say. Please fill every sport which you have been playing.
Achha.
If you play, at times I have seen candidates, they miss out filling because there is a column in that represented at the school or college level. It does not mean that if you have not represented, you should not fill. No. If you have represented, very fine. Write that I was the captain of a school team or whatever. But even if you have not represented, you have played a game, write that. Because then as an interviewing officer, I know that you have been playing these games, these sports you have been playing. So you must include all the games and sports which you have been participating. Then there is a column for your hobbies and interests which you are mentioning. So any hobby which you have, again you must mention. Some person may be having a hobby of singing, some maybe having a hobby of dancing or reading books. So you must mention that. But I must caution you, please, for heaven's sake, never mention anything which is incorrect. Never do that. That is one of the biggest mistakes you can do. The interviewing officers are well trained. You will get noticed and caught, and that will really go against you. You have to be totally honest in filling each and every detail. But what I am telling you that if you have played a game, if you have some hobbies and interests, please fill that. Okay. Then there is the next column which asks you to fill out any important assignments which you may have. Again, don't think that even a small assignment is there, which I will not fill. For example, suppose you were appointed as say a house captain, or even a class monitor. See, a person has appointed you as a class monitor. It means he feels that you are capable of doing that job. Please fill that, because as an interview officer, I know that you have got some appointment in your life where you could achieve something and you are found fit enough.
छोटे भी
achievement भी आपको लगता है, in a general body, say in a class you are a class monitor, please fill that. In a house of say 20 boys or 20 girls, you are a house captain, please fill that. If you are a captain of a sports team, please fill that. So you must ensure that anything which you have done which may help you, you must ensure that it is filled up. Okay, let me see if I have missed out something. Okay, I think I have covered everything. Yeah, there is a column of extracurricular activities. Again, you must fill out everything in your school or even outside the school or college. For example, in your school, beside academic issues, candidates or boys and girls, they do participate in debates or dance competitions, so any such thing. If you have participated, please fill that. Even outside the school curriculum or in college curriculum, for example, you may have participated in say a Swachhata Abhiyan in your area. Please fill that. It gives us a good indication about your interests, your hobbies, your personalities. Okay, and of course, in the end, they ask you to fill your chances which you have made for SSB. That has to be factual. So the issue which I am trying to highlight is that firstly, ensure that all your details which you have done or participated, you must fill. But as a caution, do not fill anything which you feel is incorrect. Don't fill anything which is wrong. Now the second question which you asked me as to who all within the SSB have the access to this PIQ.
मतलब ये PIQ form कहाँ
जाता है ना? So 2 copies of PIQs are made candidates. Now one goes to the interviewing officer. Whoever officer is going to interview you, he will be given 1 copy, and 1 copy will be given to the psychologist. Correct.
Sir, interviewing officer का तो समझ आता है कि भाई वो उस फॉर्म से पूछ रहा है सवाल सामने, लेकिन साइकोलॉजिस्ट तो सर वो टैट SRT SDT वो तो खुद ही कैंडिडेट को एड्रेस करके चले जाएंगे, वो कौन सा 1-to-1 इंटरेक्शन रखते हैं?
This is again a very important question you asked me, and perhaps this must be a doubt in many candidates' mind. Isn't it? Now it's very important that a psychologist has got access to this PIQ because PIQ gives a very rough idea about a candidate, isn't it? And please understand, psychologists don't see the candidates even for a moment, and they still assess you very accurately. So he has to have some information about the candidate. I'll give you an example, perhaps which will make you understand. For example, there is in psychology test, there is a test called as self-description, where you write about yourself. So suppose a child writes that my teachers feel I am very good in sports, and they give me responsibility of captaining my basketball team. But in the PIQ, आपने तो वो sport mention ही नहीं किया. You have got so he will think that there is some contradiction. Is he missed out by mistake, or perhaps he is making a false statement in the self-description. So it's very important that your PIQ and your question answer in the interview and your say self-description or any other issues in the psychology, they match. So I said, if you are honest, if you don't fill out any wrong information, and so they will all match up and everything will go right.
कहते हैं ना, हर चीज के पीछे कुछ लॉजिक होता है, और ब्रिगेडियर साहब ने कितने प्यारे ढंग से आपको बताया कि कैसे PIQ फॉर्म का लॉजिक आपके सेल्फ डिस्क्रिप्शन टेस्ट से मैच किया जाएगा. एस्पिरेंट्स, आज तक आपको ये न्यूज़ नहीं मिली होगी, ये इंफॉर्मेशन नहीं मिली होगी. सर थैंक यू सो मच. कहते हैं ना, तजुर्बा मैटर्स. अब प्रेसिडेंट रैंक जो इंटरव्यूइंग ऑफिसर हैं, जो प्रेसिडेंट हैं सर्विसेज सिलेक्शन बोर्ड के, वो बारीक चीज़ों का ध्यान रखेंगे. ऐसे मेंटर के गाइडेंस में अगर SSB क्लासेस मिलेंगी, सो एक्सेलेंस आना ही आना है. एस्पिरेंट्स, सर एक सवाल, ऑफिसर इंटेलिजेंस रेटिंग टेस्ट OIR PIQ फॉर्म में ऊपर की तरफ लिखा होता है, OIR तो स्टेज 1 में हो रहा है, पहला हो रहा है, खत्म हो जा रहा है, उसके बाद कहीं पे भी रीजनिंग का नामो निशान नहीं है. Then why PIQ form is connected with OIR?
Yeah, again a very interesting question you asked me.
जी.
And again, this must be lurking in the mind of many candidates.
जी.
See, the OIR gives an indication of the basic intelligence of a candidate. Because we have the OIR rating from 1 to 5. A candidate who is OIR 1 or maybe 2, we take it that he's quite intelligent. Basic intelligence is quite okay. His IQ is good. Whereas a candidate with OIR 4 and 5, we know that he has got perhaps not as intelligence as a OIR 1. So, as you rightly said, OIR 1 is a very important part of the screening process. It is part of that calculation, and based on that, of course, the marks of the screening is announced. But it is also important for the psychologist, for the interviewing officer to at least have that initial idea about his OIR. Does it match with his marks? At times you see, a candidate may end up getting 95% marks, but his OIR is 4. So there is some mismatch. Maybe he is a person who is able to mug things and get good marks in his class 10 or 12, but when it comes to practically, answering question, he perhaps, has an issue. So that's how OIR is part of the, information which is put in the PIQ, and the candidate may not be aware of that. But the interviewing officer and the psychologist will be aware of that and will be using it wherever he wants to use that.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. Aspirants, ब्रिगेडियर अमर नारायण सर के साथ त्रिशूल डिफेंस एकेडमी रांची ला रहा है फ्रेश SSB बैचेस. जी हाँ, अगर आप टेक्निकल एंट्री स्कीम के एस्पिरेंट हैं, क्योंकि ऑलरेडी दिसंबर का फर्स्ट वीक स्टार्ट हो गया है, अगर आप TS के एस्पिरेंट हैं तो कभी भी डेट सिलेक्शन लिंक आ जाएगा, कभी भी शॉर्ट लिस्टिंग आ जाएगी. स्टार्ट प्रिपरेशंस नाउ. जी हाँ, 14 दिन की SSB के साथ त्रिशूल डिफेंस एकेडमी रांची ला रहा है फ्रेश SSB बैचेस अंडर गाइडेंस ऑफ ब्रिगेडियर अमर नारायण सर, जो कि खुद प्रेसिडेंट थे सर्विसेज सिलेक्शन बोर्ड इलाहाबाद के. कहते हैं ना कि आदमी की पर्सनालिटी उसके साथ साथ चलती है, सर का तजुर्बा उनके साथ साथ बोलता है. जी एस्पिरेंट्स, अगर आपको भी सर्विसेज सिलेक्शन बोर्ड इंटरव्यूज की तैयारी करनी है और आप परेशान हो क्योंकि नेट पे इतना ज्यादा कंटेंट है और आप परेशान हो, आप ढूंढ रहे हो सही मेंटर को, तो त्रिशूल डिफेंस एकेडमी रांची में ब्रिगेडियर अमर नारायण सर अवेलेबल हैं, जो आपको SSB क्लासेस पूरी की पूरी देने के लिए तैयार है. नीचे लिखे हुए व्हाट्सएप नंबर पे आप कमेंट कर सकते हो, आपको कोई कोर्स रिलेटेड इंक्वायरी चाहिए आप पता कर सकते हो, कोई भी प्रॉब्लम्स आ रही है सर्विसेज सिलेक्शन बोर्ड के रिलेटेड, तो नीचे लिखे हुए व्हाट्सएप नंबर पे ये व्हाट्सएप डायरेक्टली ब्रिगेडियर्स आपके पास पहुंचेगा, इसलिए फील फ्री टू टॉक टू सर. थैंक यू. बने रहिएगा त्रिशूल डिफेंस एकेडमी के साथ. जय हिंद.
जय हिंद सर. थैंक यू.
जहां बनते हैं देश के गौरव, इंडिया का एकमात्र ऐसा कोचिंग इंस्टीट्यूट जहां कैडेट्स को ट्रेन किया जाता है आने वाले डिफेंस एग्जाम के अनुसार. अगर आपका भी सपना है भारतीय सेना में शामिल होकर देश की सेवा करने का, तो आज ही ज्वाइन करें त्रिशूल डिफेंस एकेडमी.